Throughout conversations on this podcast, I have felt just how much pole can give people greater confidence in themselves. Confidence, I think, is one of the most difficult but most powerful skill to have in life. And in today's episode with Katrina, she showed me just how amazing confidence can be. Katrina is a mum of two and owner of Wings Pole Studio Belfast, which she opened in 2021, just coming out of a lockdown, and having never taught a single pole class before. However, she was motivated by her passion for helping women find love for themselves, and she combined this with her passion for fitness and, of course, pole. And that is what drove Katrina to open Wings Pole Studio today. I was truly inspired by how much confidence radiated off Katrina and her journey into opening Wings. If there's one thing that I'd want you to get out of today's episode, it's the importance of having confidence in yourself. Let's see what she had to say.
Thank you so much, Katrina, for coming on the Challenge in the Spin podcast. I'm so excited to get to chat with you and hear more about your incredible pole journey and your journey to starting this beautiful studio, Wings. So if you want to just tell the people listening a wee bit about who you are, who you were before you discovered pole and sort of your journey.
So I am Katrina Lennon. I am a 41-year-old mum of two teenagers. Well, one pre, one teen. So that's fun. I started pole when my kids were both under 3. And previous to starting pole, well, I worked for the NHS. So for 14 years, I actually worked for the NHS. And previous to starting pole, I didn't really do much fitness-wise. It was after I had my kids that my fitness journey really started. So my husband had just opened a gym, and I decided to kind of be a bit of a guinea pig for him teaching or training women that like postnatal. Mm-hmm. So he trained me from home. I just did 20-minute workouts at home every night. And then pole was something that I had tried years and years ago for a bit of crack. With my sister-in-law, who was just my boyfriend's sister at the time. And we just went, it lasted for about 6 months, and then it was in polar days actually. We just then never 6 months, and then it was gone. So this was obviously years later. I had been married, had the kids, and I'd started the strength training and thought, I actually might go back and try pole. So polar days it was like January, and they had like a hoop tester class or something on. So I went to the hoop tester class and thought, I'll do hoop instead, and then it ended up sold out. So I went back to pole. Mm-hmm. And that's basically, I was still working for the NHS, and then I think it was in 2009 I decided to leave and go and do admin for my husband in his gym. Uh-huh. After 14 years in the NHS, like it was a big decision to make to leave. Wow. And then about 1 year in working for him, I did my PT course. So I was always women I worked with. So I started a women's only boot camp in his gym. And then lockdown came so it's 2019. Did I say 2009? Anyway, never know this. But lockdown then came. I was still taking the boot camps online. But for me, with teaching women fitness and helping women with their fitness, there was always a disconnect for me, and it was the nutrition side of it. So I knew I loved working with women. I knew I loved helping women get strong and feel amazing. But the nutrition I couldn't deal with, because for me it's just black and white. I'm just like, eat your protein, don't overeat. But it's not like that for a lot of women. I know that, yeah. But I just couldn't. I wasn't interested enough in it to go and like help. So during lockdown, obviously we all had a lot of time to think, and I thought maybe I should go into teaching pole. And I did my online teacher training just during lockdown, because again, nothing better to do. And then I just decided I'll open a studio. And it's because my husband, I had seen him build his business up from scratch. Yeah. I knew you could do that. Like I knew a person that had never run a business could do it, and they could work it out. And he, at this stage then, he was almost mentoring business people. So he knew, he was like, let's just do it. Yeah. So we had seen just a premises 10 minutes from our house on Kennedy Way, and he's like, just go for it. So he was kind of backing me the whole way. And then I just opened Wings. It was supposed to open in January. So you remember we had the lockdown, and then everything kind of opened up. And then, yes. But then on Boxing Day, everything locked down. Yeah. So I had done like a Black Friday thing and sold all these spaces, 9 classes, 9 beginner classes, sold them all out Black Friday. And everyone was set to come. And then they announced Boxing Day, we're going into lockdown again. So I then didn't get open to May. But you know, everyone that signed up on that Black Friday deal waited.
Amazing.
They all waited to May, and then so when I opened my 9 beginner classes, and that was it. Like I'd never taught a class in my life, but I knew I worked well with women. I knew I had been able to take the boot camp, so I was good in a room full of people, and I just thought, why not? I'll just do it. So, and that was it. Wings was born, and it's just went from strength to strength.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible. I mean, especially to go from never having taught a class to have that confidence in yourself to know, like, I know I can do this and I've seen it. Like, teaching as well, I think is quite a difficult skill to master. Like, teaching, being good at pole, but teaching someone's a completely different ball game. So, what was that experience like with teaching? What sort of lessons did you learn early on, or what were some of the challenges that you found?
Yeah, well, I mean, like I say, I was used to working with women. I was used to building strength with women. So I knew all that stuff. I had all that. And even when you're doing your teacher training, you do all the anatomy stuff. I had already done that in my... Now, I'm not saying... It still blows my mind to this day because you're always learning. But that's the best lesson for any instructor, any teacher. You're always learning. And I learned... What was the quote I had seen? The biggest teacher in any room is a student.
Oh,
So,
I love that.
and every single day my students are learning me because you've always someone different coming in. Oh, actually I have this problem, I can't do this. I'm like, okay, so how do we work around this? Do you know? So I've learned so many lessons, and I think there's a lot of stuff online as well now that can really help instructors.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also a lot of stuff that can really, like, it's almost overload sometimes as well, I feel.
Yeah.
So my thing is to just try and keep it simple for people, especially for me. There's a lot of women coming to me and they've kids and they're just the same as me. I just want an hour to the house here.
Mm-hmm.
So overloading them with all this stuff of you need to be in the gym 3 times a week, you need to be doing this. It's like, no, is this your hobby? Do you love it? Does it make you feel good? Then let's just go with the flow of this, without overcomplicating it.
Honestly, it's incredible to hear that, and sort of that confidence. I mean, I think just confidence just is in you. Like, as soon as you walk in, I see your videos and everything. Like, I just love how confident you are, and it's so inspiring to see that and to actually hear your journey of, I didn't teach yet, but I knew and I wanted to start this. Did you always have that confidence, or was that something you learnt over time? How did you get that confidence?
No, I definitely didn't. Like, I remember even when I started in the hospital, like working with the NHS, I couldn't even speak to a doctor because I was like, they're a doctor, man, it's a woman,
Yeah.
So strange. But the confidence definitely came, for me, it came from, I think, strength training and pole dancing. It's crazy. It just built, I think it's when you realise your capabilities. I think as a woman, when you realise what you're capable of, what your body's capable of, and that's where the confidence comes from. And a lot of that came even from having my kids. It was like, I had 2 babies. I breastfed them.
Yeah.
And then I went and started this big strength journey. I did a photo shoot, I think 4 years into my strength journey, and I had abs for the first time in my life after having 2 kids. So that's just where the confidence comes from. I feel like it's like, if you want something and you put your mind to it, you can definitely do it.
Yeah.
And that's where the confidence comes from, definitely.
Definitely. And I think your story is like black and white of that, because you started a studio in lockdown, like coming out of a lockdown in a big uncertainty time, and you never having taught, you didn't know what that was going to look like. So I think it's just incredible that you really took that leap and just did it. Was there a particular moment in opening the studio and throughout that it was sort of I know this can work now, like I know this studio, it is working and I can continue? That was there, that sort of aha moment with it?
See, to be honest, I think it was before I even opened. Like the fact that I was able to just organically through my social media, like say hello to people.
Yeah.
And for me it actually wasn't never about selling pole, it was selling confidence to women. Like what woman doesn't want to feel confident? So that was the thing. And I think if you know your goal with your business and you're passionate enough about it, people see that. Like there's nothing here that I'm trying to con anyone. It's like pole gives you confidence, and that's the thing. And that was the aha moment when it was like, I'm not selling pole, I'm selling confidence.
Yeah.
And this will work because of that.
Yeah. That's incredible. I mean, like, to know the aha moment was before this even started, like that's incredible. And you're talking there about, Pole gives you confidence, and your sort of mission is you want to help women. That was sort of your passion, was helping and supporting and empowering women. Why do you think that mission is really important to you personally? And why do you think pole is the way to navigate that process?
And again, like I say, I was never a confident person. So I feel like that's why it's so important to me. I feel like women need to know that they can take up space and that it's okay to be confident. It's okay to go out wearing whatever the hell you want, and pole teaches you that. Even if you still don't feel confident, get out wearing what you want, but being in a studio for an hour and wearing the sexy outfit or something that makes you feel great, even if you go, I would never wear that outside of here. Like, how amazing is that?
Yeah.
So that's,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. I know I always, whenever I talk to people that are sort of starting beginner pole classes, I love to see the moment where they go from leggings to shorts, and they're like I myself, I never would have wore shorts. I didn't like my legs and stuff. So actually that moment in your class where you have to go, you know what, if I want to do this move, I have to just wear the shorts.
And that's what it is. That's what it is about pole.
Yeah.
It forces you to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, I'm so uncomfortable wearing this, but I really want to do that move. So
Exactly.
YOLO, you have to do it, don't you?
Exactly.
And I love that. It's a massive thing about teaching when you see students changing from their long shorts to their short shorts, and it's always a big deal in class. They're like, first pole pants here.
Yeah.
Yay! It's such a celebration. And that's the wee thing. I'm like, that's a mini win that people don't realise.
Yeah.
Just wearing those wee short shorts, it's amazing.
I know, and even when I think back, like when I take videos where I'm trying to get a move that I haven't got for ages, and then I get that move and I get it on a video, I have never once looked at a video and went, oh, my legs look a bit too big there, or my arms is a bit jelly welly there, or something. Like, you actually are just like, wow, my body just did that move. Like,
exactly. And even when and some of my girls will do that, they'll look and they'll go, oh, my belly rolls. And I'm like, when you're watching other people, are you saying that? Look at her belly roll. You're not. You're looking at how amazing she's. So I'm like, so think about that. Like, switch it around, pretend it's someone else you're looking at and see what you'd say.
Yeah.
And that's where the mindset changes in. Because you're never going to say that about someone else.
Yeah.
Look at your belly. You're going to say, that move's amazing.
Exactly. I love that. What has been some of your sort of personal, like, big achievements, either pole related or, to do with Wings or business related?
The charity events that I've been able to do. Because again, that's something it's like, I love the fact that I'm able to do that. Like, giving back to the community. And this is the thing about small business as well that people don't realise. They're probably the biggest people that give back to the community. Do you know? Because it's all about community and what we can do. And so last year we had a charity event in Black Box, and it was obviously for charity. We raised a lot of money for the hospice, and it also put a lot of my students on the stage, and their families came, and so things like that. That's what I really love doing. Yeah. On top of obviously all the other amazing things, all the women being amazing, but that's definitely.
So it's so good to see that. I mean, the community of pole around it. I mean, that's the camaraderie in classes is what people really love, like cheering people on, encouraging, charity showcases, giving back. Like, just showcasing that is incredible.
Yeah.
Is there something you can think of that you think behind the scenes some people don't really know, or don't, maybe some, I don't know, to do with being a studio owner, or what do people not see behind the scenes?
Well, people obviously don't see just the stuff that goes on for small businesses. They don't see the worry and the stress and, like, are all my students going to show up, or is this class going to enjoy? And that's what's the hard thing about, because you can't please everyone. Obviously, when I'm doing my lesson plans, I'm always thinking, obviously, my students' membership. So it's the same students who come, and you're like, right, you want to teach this, but then, oh, she doesn't like that, or her arm's too short to get that, or and that's the difficult thing for instructors, because you're trying to, like, I don't want anyone leaving here feeling gutted. You want everyone leaving feeling like, oh, I really did something fun there. So yeah, it's always having in the back of your head, if this all goes wrong in this lesson plan, we'll just do this instead, because this is fun. Or there'll be like 5 minutes at the end where I'm like, just do something that makes you happy. Yeah. So if you even want to just lie on the floor and sleep for 5 minutes, please do that.
Just love that.
So that's the thing. And that's probably just the pressure I put on myself. But I want everyone leaving feeling amazing. And sometimes that just doesn't happen. You know that.
Oh, definitely.
It's like people are ready to punch walls sometimes. But
Yeah.
so that's the thing. It's the lesson plans, I think, that people don't realise. That's what a pole instructor, but then obviously with business owners, there's just so much stuff there that people don't want to hear it either. They're like, sure, business sorted out, you know.
Yeah.
But there is stuff that goes on in the background for every business owner that people would never dream of.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And the other thing, it's good to actually, talk about that and appreciate it, because people come to a pole class, they come out and they're like, yes, I'm happy, or that was it, or whatever. They don't see the graft you've had to do to plan that lesson, do the sessions, get the people in the building. It's just so much work with just the studio. And even if you do have small classes, it's still, a big investment and a big leap of faith you have to take with it.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to just hear a bit more about what you hope for the future of Wings, and is it possibly, do you want to own more studios? Are you happy with just having, where you're at now? What's that future look like for you?
So the future for me is just to keep doing what I'm doing. Like, I honestly don't think I could open another studio because I am a very all or nothing person.
Yeah.
And if I opened another studio, I'm like, how can I be all in both?
Yeah, true.
Like, I really can't. It's even like, I don't compete because I'm like, how? Like, how could I put all my energy into that and all my energy into this and all my energy into my kids? And, so for me, like, I'm just so happy with, I want to obviously keep growing Wings, but it'll be here.
Yeah.
It'll just be adding, getting more beginners in the door, maybe adding more, to be honest, we'll say adding more classes. I have no room. I'm not adding more classes.
Yeah.
At the minute, I am kind of expanding out into like group sessions, like for team building and like corporate things. So that's what I'm kind of working on at the minute, doing that. But other than that, yeah, I mean, my husband's all for it. Franchise and do this and that, and I'm like, it's just not me. Like, it's, I just couldn't. For me, mentally, I just couldn't. It's too stressful.
And that's the thing. That's where burnout comes into play.
100%.
And I'm curious to hear your thoughts on, have you experienced burnout? Because as you said, you have kids, you have a family, you're owning this business, running this business, teaching in the classes as well. Like, how do you navigate? Have you ever felt burnout?
See, to be honest, I haven't felt burnout.
Okay.
And it's just because I'm always so aware of it. Like, I would never put myself to that extent that I'm going to burnout. Like, I learned very quickly at the start, and this again came from my husband with business. He was like, you need to say no.
Yeah.
Like, you just have to learn to say no. I remember one time some guy had messaged me on Instagram to say he had started this page and he was just doing like silly videos and different businesses, and a few people had mentioned he should come to Pole, and could he come down for a few hours, and I really thought about it, and I was like, that doesn't benefit me in any way, shape or form.
Yeah.
Do I have 2 hours to be sitting in my shoe? And I just said no. And the me 10 years ago, I never would have said no. So I'd have been like, okay, and came and done that for no reason whatsoever other than heading to gain from it. So it's things like that. And again, I always come back to the competing thing. Like, I competed years ago in Pole Princess, and I just knew how much it took out of me. So to be here now, trying to be here for all my students, my kid, again, that's just a massive no. Showcases in the studio, I'll always try and put a wee something together, just because to show my students, like, this is, you can do it even when you're not a performer.
Yeah.
But again, if there's too much going on, I'll just be like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So I've really just learned to set boundaries and just say no to stuff.
Love that.
Yeah.
Well, as you should. I mean, that's it's a hard skill too to have. Like, as you said, many people feel that, oh, am I going to be rude? I feel like especially in Northern Ireland, we're very like, oh, we don't want to offend people. I'll say yes, I'll just blah blah blah. I don't want people to think I want to stay humble and all this, but actually setting those boundaries will benefit everyone in that process.
100%. The main thing for me is my students. They need the best of me. Obviously we're talking about business. Obviously at home, my kids, but if I'm just, I can't please everyone.
Exactly.
And that's the massive thing. It's just like, and putting yourself out there, you're always going to get scrutiny from someone.
Yeah.
But the people that know me, and even maybe people that I've said no to in the past, then they'll meet me and they'll be like, oh, she's actually not like just say, you know,
Yeah.
I know who I am and I know what I stand for and I know what I do really well. So I'm comfortable with that. So I'm comfortable to say no. And if someone thinks I'm this and that for saying no, then that's fine by me.
No, exactly, as you should. And I love sort of hearing all about this because I study business. Well, I just graduated business, so I love all things business and entrepreneurship and stuff. But was there a particular decision, as we're talking about boundaries, that you made that maybe at first you were like, oh, don't know if this is the right decision. I don't know about this, or maybe people were telling you to make a different decision, but you made it, and now you can see the benefit of that decision.
Well, the decision to move studios was probably the biggest thing, because previous to this studio, I was in a studio just 2 minutes from here. It was a lot smaller, but I was still tied into my lease for another 1.5 years. And then, but I was looking for various reasons. I was looking to move, and when I spotted this, and it was my husband, he was like, "Do it." Whereas other people were like, "Oh, I don't know, like you're still in your lease," and he was just like, "You're not going to get another studio that close." You know, so I was freaking out because I was still in the lease. And then I had somebody that had agreed, the guy next door to me had agreed, I'll take over your lease. But the crossover, it didn't happen the way it was meant to, so I was paying 2 leases for, so that was probably one time where I was like, this is stressful, is this ever going to happen? But eventually it did, it took over. And then the only way to look at that on the flip side was like, God, my lease could have ran out up there and I wouldn't have had anywhere else.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing that I made that decision to just come here, deal with those few months of stress, paying 2 leases, and it has all worked out in the end.
Yeah.
So it's amazing.
Love it.
So you have to, the decisions that you make in business are always massive, but luckily for me, yes, that one turned out to be a good decision. And it could have been a lot worse.
Exactly. No, thank God it did turn out successful. But yeah, I think every time I chat to someone like in business, a studio owner, they always talk about risk, and they always say business involves risk, no reward. So that was a big risk for you.
Big risk.
Any other risks?
Well, I mean, I'm not a risk taker. My husband's a risk taker. I am not. I'm like, no, I'm comfortable. I'm happy. I'm staying here.
Yeah.
So even opening the business in the first place was a risk. It was a massive risk. But yeah, so that's it. It is. You have to just take that leap and hope that it works out. And that, like I say, thankfully so far, it's all worked out.
Yeah.
So we'll just keep going. I'm not taking any more risks. I'm done with risks now.
Sitting back and relaxing.
Well, yeah.
Exactly. All the hard graph's done.
Yeah.
But no, and you're talking there about, it's so encouraging to hear that your husband is a big believer and really encouraged you. How important is it to have your husband or someone that supports you through the process?
So important, because obviously in business there's so many ups and downs, and the person that you're with needs to be there to say it's okay during the hard times, and obviously then celebrate during the good times.
Yeah.
If the person that you're with is only there during the good times, then that's an issue, because you mostly need them during the bad times. You go and be like, what? But he's so, and like I say, he's just so, he take the risk, and then, and sure, it didn't work, that's okay, what's next?
Yeah.
Whereas I'm like, didn't work, my God, my life's over. So it's good, we complement each other well.
Yes.
Because I'm able to rein him in as well in his businesses. When he's like, oh, I want to do that, I'm like, absolutely not. And then he sits down and we'll have a discussion, and then it turns out I'm right anyway. So.
Yeah. Of course, always. Love it. Oh, no, it's so nice to hear. The last question I always ask all my guests is, this podcast is called Challenging the Spin, because I wanted to challenge the conversation on pole dance and just highlight the different voices in the community. So what is one thing that you think we need to challenge the spin on? And it doesn't have to be pole related, it can be general life, just something that you think we need to challenge the spin on this conversation.
I think probably challenge the fact that you don't have to be a certain age to start pole. I started when I was 30. I know 30 is not old, but some people would think, oh, you need to be doing that from you're like really young to be good at it, or you need to be doing gymnastics from you're young to be good at it. Well, obviously that's not the case. I've had students start at 40.
Wow.
45. We now have an over 50s category in the All Irelands. Like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I definitely feel like that needs to be, and I do talk about that a lot on my page as well. Like, you're not too old. There's no way you can start at any age. So yeah, let's challenge that, the age.
Yeah.
Age of pole dancers.
Exactly, as we should. I know I was I think it's Elle always talks about there's someone she knew that like started at 70 or something.
Wow.
And I was like, That's just incredible to hear.
I actually think my husband showed me a video the other day. So he's like, I get pole dancers on my Instagram because obviously he's liking my stuff. And she was 82. And she was, you want to see her on the pole? And he was like, she's 3 years younger than my grandma. And look at her. So I was like, well, that's going to be me. He said, that's exactly that.
Exactly. All us pole dancers don't age like fine wine. But no, thank you so much for sitting and chatting with me today. It's been so lovely to hear all about your journey into business, into pole as a teacher, and also as a mum and too, and a wife. So thank you so much.